Before the 90s, hand-drawn animation was the standard for every form of animated media, whether it was Western cartoons or Japan's anime. But then one day, one company would revolutionize the medium and change the industry forever. Founded in 1979 and backed by the late Steve Jobs, Pixar released its first major computer animated motion picture in 1995 and hasn't stopped since. Combining cutting edge technology with mature storytelling that is enjoyable for both children and adults, the company has become a major player in Hollywood and has garnered numerous awards. In anticipation of the upcoming Inside Out 2, let us look at the esteemed company's prestigious catalog and see which deserves to be in the top 10. We will be going through Pixar's full-length feature films only, so don't expect to see any of the shorts here. The sleeper hit of 2023. Expectations were low for Elemental because, let's face it, despite a string of hits, Pixar was no longer the industry powerhouse it once was. Yet through positive word of mouth, the film eventually became a success, with many finding it surprisingly entertaining. At its core, the film is a love story about two individuals hailing from different cultures. Ember and Wade are fire and water, yet despite that big difference in both physiology and culture, the pair grew closer together throughout the film. Sure, the metaphor is written in the wall with the allegory on the immigrant experience and the comfort of being part of a homogenized group of people, yet Elemental succeeds by making its characters likable and endearing. It is a bit safe, yes, but despite somewhat being predictable and formulaic, the film proves why Pixar formula was such a success in the first place.
Remember me, though I have to say goodbye. Remember me, don't let it make you cry. For even if I'm far away, I hold you in my heart.
One of Pixar's greatest strengths is blending relatable themes with a fantastical element to it, which ultimately is one of the reasons why Coco is one of their strongest works. The film is a celebration of Mexican culture, taking protagonist Miguel to the land of the dead, where he encounters Hector and a slew of supporting characters. The attention to detail in depicting such culture is authentic, never seeming superficial or just for show. But beyond that, Coco is an exploration of themes of identity and family as we see Miguel uncover the truth of his family history and struggle between his dreams of music and his family's aversion to it. It's a conflict that is related to most of us, the feeling of clashing between our loved ones when we want to do something they don't. And it's a big element that Coco succeeds in depicting. Finally, the film's ending, without spoiling anything, will make sure you live the experience with tears in your eyes, a testament to how the film sets up the finale really well.
If you close your eyes and let the music play, keep our love alive, I'll never fade away.
2015's Inside Out is Pixar's take on the human psyche. We follow a girl named Riley and the emotions inside her: joy, sadness, fear, anger, and disgust. A big focus of the film is exploring the importance of our emotions and why we need all aspects of them, which makes us who we are. Through the film's storytelling and presentation, this message is well portrayed through the likable emotions and the actors who portrayed them. Another victory for Inside Out was the timing of its release. During this period, Pixar was slowly declining into a string of sequels and was no longer the esteemed company a decade ago. But with the release of this film, it proved that the animation studio could still deliver the goods, and with the upcoming Inside Out 2, Riley and her emotions story will live on. Film is a visual medium, one that doesn't necessarily rely on dialogue, but rather visuals and sounds, something 2008's Wally set out to do. With a huge chunk of the movie moving without any speaking characters, the film relies on visuals as well as the charm of both the title character and Eve to tell the story it wants to tell. Just like most Pixar films, the filmmakers have the strength of telling a great narrative with unconventional characters from toys, monsters, cars, and even rats. And the same goes for this movie. We see and empathize with Wally's loneliness as he goes through his programming, and you feel the spark he feels when he encounters Eve. That, ultimately, is why Pixar is one of the animation giants in the industry. With incredible visuals and sound design, Wally is another hit, and deservingly so. Prequels are tricky to pull off. After the success of the first two installments, the concluding chapter usually comes up short. But Pixar managed to defy all odds with the release of Toy Story 3 in 2012. What makes this film work is, aside from catering to kids, it also is for the fans and audiences who grew up with these characters. We feel for Woody and company as they ponder about life beyond Andy. Just like Andy himself, we have grown up and become attached to these beloved characters. And so, by the end of the film, emotions steer high, and we, as an audience, feel the way too, and that is the beauty of Toy Story 3. Fun yet emotionally poignant in several key moments, the series should have ended here. Monsters Inc. is the 2002 film and is part of Pixar's Golden Age, starring John Goodman and Billy Crystal as Sully and Mike. The pair soon encounter a little girl named Boo. A big strength of the film is its world building. The world of Monsters Inc. is fully realized by how monsters interact with children, how the doors work, and more. Aside from our leads, the film is also packed with other entertaining characters such as Roz, Celia, and the villainous Randall. Of course, just like all of the films from the prestigious company, the movie is all about heart, the friendship between Mike and Sully, and the bond that develops between Sully and Boo. Charming and heartwarming, Monsters Inc. may be about the monsters, but it is a human story at its very core. In 1995, Pixar took storytelling to the small world of inanimate figures in Toy Story. Then they moved below ground with A Bug's Life, then to the world of the creatures of Monsters Inc. And so, 1 year later, the company would tell a new tale, this time in the ocean. Finding Nemo is a film about letting go, a story about a father and son and the odyssey they embark on to find one another. Beyond the beautifully rendered ocean, waves, and fishes, lies a film that has a relatable message. Marlin goes through an emotional journey as he learns to improve as a father to his son. Nemo, while traveling with the memorable Dory. At the same time, Nemo's part is a fun escape film where he and his newfound friends must escape a rowdy little girl. Ultimately, Finding Nemo remains one of Pixar's crowning achievements, one of the strongest films ever told in the realm of animation. Toy Story 2 is the sequel that expands on the universe of the original, with new themes as well as new characters. If the original focused on Buzz Lightyear's realization of being a toy, Toy Story 2 tackles on Woody's journey and his fear of being shelved by Andy. It deals with themes of facing the future as well as the trauma of abandonment, as seen in the memorable sequence featuring new character Jessie. But despite being bigger than the first movie, the film never forgets to keep the heart of the story, using toys to tell a tale that is accessible to audiences of all ages. The set pieces are bigger, but the filmmakers use every character to their best potential. Ultimately, Toy Story 2 is a great follow-up, succeeding in capturing lightning in the bottle once again. For years, Pixar used humanoid characters due to the limits of computer technology. But by 2004, The technology had finally caught up, and the result was 2004's The Incredibles. It is often considered one of the best from the company, and is even considered by some as the best Fantastic Four movie ever made. And honestly, it lives up to the hype. The film tells the tale of a super-powered family, and while their powers make set pieces exciting, it is the family dynamic that carries the movie, from Violet's feelings of insecurity to Bob Parr's midlife crisis. The Incredibles is also one of the darkest Pixar films out there, dealing with implied deaths and can be tense for children. Yet still, Brad Bird manages to balance the pendulum of adult and children sensibilities that makes the movie such an entertaining watch.
You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me.
The one that started it all. The original Toy Story revolutionized the game and changed how audiences saw animation. Even today, the film is well written, acted, and showed how 3D animation could be so impressive. But of course, a big factor to the movie's success is due to the tandem of Tom Hanks and Tim Allen. The duo brings humor and charm to the roles of Woody and Buzz Lightyear. Both characters go through a journey of discovery while being backed by entertaining supporting characters such as Mr. Potato Head, Bo Peep, Rex, and more. Rather than try to make a film too ambitious in terms of technology, Pixar used toys to tell a story that captures different kinds of emotions throughout. While there might be films that surpass Toy Story in terms of depth or computer graphics, the original remains a huge milestone in the filmmaking even today, and without it, we wouldn't have had more Pixar films.
You're gonna see it's our destiny. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me.
Where's Remy and the gang? Moana and Maui, Joe and 22, Mirabel and Bruno. I know this is one of the hardest lists that we could ever come up with, but we have our own violent reactions, so please state them at the comment section. And again, please do like, subscribe, share our YouTube channel or the Facebook one or anything in between. Hope you like it. And again, the usual. See you again on the next episode, okay? Take care.